Hello, and welcome to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom with your hosts, Heather and Rachel.
Together, we're here to talk about all things self-care, from fitness to mindfulness and everything in between.
Whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates, or practices like tapping and meditation, we're here to help you discover new ways to care for yourself.
We'll also share tips on positive self-talk, finding time for self-care, and creating routines that stick.
We're here to provide you with plenty of tips, tricks, and unsolicited life advice.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Join our community, and together we can explore the path to wellness. All right, well, hello and welcome to another episode of Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom. And with the holidays right around the corner, we are going to bring up a topic that's going to be really close to, I think, a lot of us, and we may be really kind of feeling this. So we're going to talk about gift giving, right? And it's such a big part of the season. We're always looking for the perfect gift, just the right gift. Got to get a gift for everyone. But like, what are the expectations around those gifts and the giving of the gifts? Like, what is it that we expect from the recipient of our gifts? What is what is it that we are looking for from them as the person accepting the gift? And this is a little bit of a twist on that, right? So we're not talking about us buying the perfect gift or what we want to receive. It's what are we looking for in like response or reaction from the person we're giving these gifts to. So we're going to kind of explore this topic. Heather's got a blog on this, and I really kind of thought it was, it's pretty fascinating when you look at it this way. So I think this will be like a fun new perspective on gift giving and what like the meaning is behind what we give and when we give to other people. I guess we'll start off with the first question. And why do you think it's so easy to create expectations when we're giving gifts to other people? So yeah. we've got expectations of what we expect from someone else when they're receiving our gifts.
Right. So expectations often stem from like a desire for validation, right? We want to be validated. And so we want to feel that our efforts, our thought, like the time that we spent, we want them to recognize it and appreciate it. It's natural. It's like a human response. You want to make sure like the other person is liking it, but it really is for our validation that they're liking it, right? And so we kind of do this weird shift of focus where now it's no longer the person that we're giving the gift to, it's now about us, right?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like I never really thought about it much that way, like when, like giving or even receiving gifts, but I can definitely see that. And you definitely see it, in some people when they're giving a gift to you, they're looking for, they're looking for that reaction. They're looking for that response, and definitely like looking for validation, especially like your kids, right? You think about it that way. And it's very expected with them. It's as adults, we like kind of are like, all right, you shouldn't really be expecting that. But like your kids are excited to like see what your reaction is to their gifts, especially the ones that they make.
Absolutely.
Right. And to see what that reaction is. And it's funny how like we definitely really expect that as kids, right? So it's a very normal thing, like but as an adult, we don't think about that too much. And it's pretty funny when you do think about it, how many times you're like, oh, wow, how often have I done that? Have I put my expectations into what, I'm giving someone like for my own validation? That's a little, it makes you think. All right. Yeah. So how can we look at the gift giving differently, right? And focus more on the person we're giving the gift to instead of the reaction or response that we're hoping for?
Right. You start by staying focused. You start by staying focused on the recipient, not on you, right? So you're asking yourself, like what am I expecting out of this? Like, what can I be detached from this and just be good with however they feel about the gift? However you gave the gift was genuine. So
Okay.
if you can stay in that genuine mindset and stay focused in being genuine, then it kind of detaches you from the emotion of giving the gift. You did all you could do. You
Mm-hmm.
did the best you could to find the best gift, right? You've done all the things, right? And now it is time for the recipient to enjoy the gift, and hopefully you know them well enough that you did it justice or whatever. But the reality is, even if you didn't, it's okay. It's no longer about you. It's your job now is done in this process. And now it is all about the person that is receiving the gift. And
Okay.
so taking the focus there and thinking about like I said, you did the best you could. You thought of their favorite color. You thought of the best size for them. You thought of, the style that they already wear or the art that they like, or you know what I mean? Like you've done all that. And so
Right.
you want to keep it still focused on them and not bring it back to you.
Okay. What does it mean to give without attachments or expectations? Like what does that look like? Like how do I do that?
Yeah. It means finding joy in the act of giving itself, right?
Okay.
Regardless of how the gift is received, you are finding joy that you showed up and you're giving the gift. And so that, like I said, in that moment, your job for
Mm-hmm.
this whole process is done. It's no longer yours. So you
Okay.
can't own it anymore, right? And so you have to turn it over to them. And while it's natural to hope for that they love it, right? That's just natural. You want them to love it. You worked hard to get it, saved up money, did whatever. But you have to become detached from how they're going to respond to it, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Now, what happens, right? We get a reaction we don't like, right? And now we're disappointed.
Yeah.
You got this lackluster, like, oh, thanks, right? So, like,
Yeah.
what can we learn from this? Like, what do I take away from that? Like, how do I not like walk away and be like, oh, they hated my gift, and now I feel awful, and
Yeah.
hmm,
And
Christmas is
that
ruined. No,
well, and that's part of the detachment of it, right? You have to kind of like know that you did the best you could. If someone doesn't react as expected, instead of taking it personal, you view it as an insight to what their taste is, what their preference is, right? You could even say, like, if they didn't like it and you clearly see that they didn't like it, you can say, "Oh, I also got a gift receipt," and you can exchange it. No hard
hmm
feelings. I thought you would like it. Obviously, your taste has changed, or I need to tune in, right? I need to ask more questions. I need to get to know you better. Now it's an effort of like communication and just holding space for that discomfort,
okay,
and it's a learning process. We want everything to be right, and it's okay to be uncomfortable, you
yeah,
know.
if you say so. Okay,
But it is.
I
It,
know,
you know, the fact of the matter is that's really where we grow. We
but it's
grow.
uncomfortable to be uncomfortable, Heather. I don't like it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love the gift, by the way. I love it.
It's better. Thank you. All right. I want to know what role does gratitude play in developing like a giving mindset? So like where does gratitude come into play here?
Yes, gratitude helps shift focus from the outcoming of the act of giving, right? It takes a moment to reflect on joy of being able to give, right? So it takes a moment, right? You have to process, but regardless of how it's received, um, you are no longer the center of attention. It's you're grateful that you were able to give a gift, and when you have the ability to be able to give something that you made or something that you bought, to be grateful in that aspect is like so wonderful that you can show up and you can be there to present a gift. And so be grateful in that whole experience. is really a
Okay.
beautiful thing. It's a grounding practice, right? And so, like, just keep the expectation at bay, like, keep it at check,
Right.
and just be okay with however it turns out.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult sometimes and really all the time for most people to not like put that attachment on there and that expectation to it. Like we want to, yeah, we want that validation.
Yeah.
I can totally see myself at times and in different places like kind of falling into that
Hmm.
because it really becomes about, oh, what me like about me and what I'm doing and what I'm giving. And it's like,
Right.
oh,
Right.
okay. Like you still want that other person to be happy, but yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of
Totally.
want that recognition for making the other person happy.
Yeah, we have two granddaughters, and our oldest granddaughter, um, her taste is changing all the time,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
All the time, and what she liked for her birthday is not what she likes for Christmas. Like there's months in between, and kids'
Yeah.
influence, and blah blah blah. And so I have had super candid conversations with her that if you don't like something, you have to like speak from your chest and tell us that you don't like something, because if not, we don't know and we continuously buy
Right. The
that
wrong thing.
type
There's
of
something that
thing
you don't
for
want. Yeah.
you. And for the longest time when we were kids, you would never be ungrateful for a gift ever.
No.
You would never tell somebody you didn't like it. I think of like the Christmas Story and the bunny outfit,
Yes.
right?
She
Um,
always sent you the name of gifts.
yeah, I think of that, and it's just like the dad is like, he looks like a deranged Easter bunny. Like, don't do this to this poor kid, right? And the mom is like, he looks wonderful, and and he is just so uncomfortable. Um, so I think it's a teachable moment when somebody doesn't like a gift, and it's time to now
Mhm.
connect and just ask questions and let them know it's
That's
okay.
such a wonderful way to view that, and, like, that's a
Yeah.
great perspective. It really changes things up. So, in that vein, like, so what advice
Mhm,
can you give to someone? Like, so I gave you a gift, you didn't really like it,
mhm.
so now I'm upset, like, I'm feeling hurt because, like, I did not get the reaction that I want. So, like, what advice would you give in that situation?
So first acknowledge your feelings, right? They're real,
Mhm.
and don't discount them. And it's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to be uncomfortable in that situation, and it's okay to not feel good. And then remind yourself that their reaction is not a reflection of your effort, is not
Right.
a reflection of how much you love them or care for them. That's not that reflection. Their dislike for the gift is just blatantly that. It's just a dislike for something. It has nothing to do with you personally, right? And so
Mhm.
focusing on joy, and how it truly felt for you to shop for that person, to create for that person, like that is where you find that joy and that gratitude in that space. And then I would say then have the communication with the person, because
Mhm.
it's really not comfortable for a person that doesn't like something either,
Right.
right? So now you guys have to do like this communication thing and be like, hey, it's okay if you don't like it. I understand. And like not everything's gonna land. That's
It's
just
true.
life, right? And so now how can we make the next gift giving better?
I think, yeah, that can be one of the most difficult things to do, especially too, I mean, like, so you're a mom, you're a grandma,
Mhm.
you want to, like, there's still a lot of pressure, like, even though things have changed so much on moms, on
Yeah.
women, on girls even to know how to pick out the perfect gift for, like,
Yes.
everyone.
Yeah, totally.
And not to say it never comes into play like that with
Mhm.
guys, because I think a lot of times it does, especially,
Yeah.
with wives and girlfriends and all that. But I think really like with moms, I think it kind of hits really hard.
Mhm.
Just trying to always know, what's gonna like, light up your kid's face on Christmas or
Yeah.
your grandkid's face on Christmas and how to do that. And I think there's a lot of pressure there. And I think when you take it and you look at it from the aspect of like putting your effort in, looking at the joy of the time you had picking it out and all of that stuff. That's a great way to kind of change the perspective and really take off some of the pressure. You're like, all right, you know what, if it doesn't land, that, and yes, I have gift receipts. They can always be exchanged. And you know what,
Right.
I don't have to be perfect in giving this, or maybe someone
Right.
outgrew it, or they got the same thing, like, from someone else. And
Absolutely.
I didn't
Absolutely.
know it. And I think that really, we can kind of use that to kind of take some of that pressure off of like the expectations we put on ourselves. Because then I
Absolutely.
think we're kind of projecting that onto sometimes the recipients of our gifts to, again, validate the work that we put into that.
And when you are out and about, I don't know about anybody else. I can only speak for myself, but I'll be out and about and I'll see something and somebody will pop into my head. I'll be like, oh, my mom will love this. Oh, this is like, I'll just see something randomly. It's not the holidays or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this will be perfect for my husband. Oh, this is perfect for my son. You know what I mean? Right. And so those kinds of things, when you find the joy in the person, when something lights you up about that person,
right,
and that's what you pick, it's never a reflection on your love for them or your care for them. And we have to know that. Like, we have to understand that. Like, you did something lovingly. You led with love with a gift, and you have to own that. Like, that's your piece. And then once you hand it over to them, then whatever they do with the gift, whether they throw it in the trash or cherish it, it's their piece, right? And so at that point of giving the gift, you really need to now be at peace with giving the gift and being like, I'm so happy that this is no longer mine.
Yeah, right. I'm so done. I'm so done with this now. Please enjoy it. But I'm like, I don't know how many years I get to a certain point, and I'm like, you know what? Everybody from this point on gets like a Starbucks gift card and a bottle of wine, and like I've had it.
We do experiences. That's our thing now. Like, we do family experiences, and the kids get gifts, and majority of the time they get clothes because we buy them whatever they want all year long.
Well, yeah, there's so many necessary items these days too. Like, they need this for school, and they're big expenses, and it's like, well, they have to have it. It kind of takes all the spontaneity out of like being able to give the kid like this gift, because now it's not just something they want. It's like, oh, well, they need it because like, this is going on or that's going on, and there's no way for them to participate without this. And you're like, well, right, then what are the holidays for? Like, what am I trying to do for Christmas and birthdays? Like, I gave you all the stuff that I can give you.
Well, the holidays are truly for socks and underwear. I mean, honestly, let's be honest. Another pair of socks. Yay.
Yeah. Socks and pajamas. Socks, pajamas, and underwear.
Yep.
And I'm like, but you know what? That would be cool if that was like, that's kind of nice, right? Because then you just got that new thing, and you knew that new thing was coming then. But it's like, no, we need iPhones and like computers and God knows what else. And like, apparently, like, you need a Lexus for Christmas. I still haven't gotten one. Santa, I mean, come on. Why don't I have a Lexus for Christmas?
I think I've been super naughty. I don't. Yeah, I've never.
Right? Like,
don't think it's ever happening. But
it's a December to remember. Come on.
Yeah. Nope.
All right. So we're gonna get back on track now.
We're gonna
take a little side note. All right. How do we learn to trust the process of connection through gift giving?
Well, when you approach gift giving, it's a journey, right? And instead of just a transaction, right? And so it becomes an opportunity to learn. Number one, and I don't know about anybody else, but I know when I'm shopping for somebody else, I learn a lot about myself as well. I learn a lot about how I see the other person. There are certain things, like I talk about my granddaughter a lot. She's not this little girl anymore. Like, I mean, she's still a little girl, but she's not a little girl, right?
Right.
And I still see her like that. Even my own children, like, I process some things and I'm like, they would really like this, but they would like it now as a collectible as opposed to, you know,
Right.
when they were younger. And so I learn a lot about myself. And so when you are doing gift giving, it's like a journey, it's a process. It's to enjoy every moment of the process. And I love that when somebody can give me a gift and tell me the story about how they found the gift.
See, my sister does that really well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll find like it'll be the smallest thing too. Like she'll find the perfect little thing that she knows that you need, and it's never extravagant or like crazy expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's always super personal. There's always a story behind it. And it's always like this perfect little thoughtful gift. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
God, I wish I could do that. Like, I wish I had the patience, like, especially during, like,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to shop like that and do all that. I just, I marvel at that. I'm like, oh, I'd love to be able to like elevate my gift giving to that level.
Mm-hmm. And my oldest son does something really cool. He makes gift giving an experience. So he takes like paper boxes,
Mm-hmm.
and when he buys, and I don't know if he buys throughout the year or how he
Mm-hmm.
purchases it, but he kind of like sets it up in this paper box that he gets from work. And so everybody gets a paper box.
Okay.
And then your paper box has like all these little trinkets in them, like
That's cute.
nothing like big, but each one you unwrap and it's all like set, and just the experience of what he puts into
That's
giving
really
to each
cool.
and every
Yeah.
person, you know? And so I think that that speaks volumes for how he thinks of the process of giving the gift to each person, you know,
That's really nice.
decorating the
Yeah.
box and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And it's just really cool.
Yeah, that's great. That's just see, I think I put all that thought into like my meals that
Hmm.
I'm planning for the holidays. Like I know what everyone's like favorite thing to eat is. And
That's good.
like that's where I kind of like to go. I'm like, I have my certain dishes that I make like for certain holidays. And like I get super excited about doing that. Like
There's your gift.
that's where that kicks yes, that's where it kicks in for me. I'm like, everyone wants this. I'm really good at making this. So like this is what I'm doing,
Uh-huh.
for the and I actually enjoy that, like giving that and like making
Hmm.
food
Right.
so much more than
And
like
I'm sure
so
everybody
much
loves
more
it.
than shopping for things.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm sure everybody loves it. Those are like, that's thoughtful. My stepmom used to bake us cookies every year. You
Mhm.
know, I used to bake all of my employees. I had over 200 employees. I used to bake all my employees cookies every year.
So like
My
for
step,
work, I would make jerky a lot of
yeah.
times. Like I had a dehydrator and I would get like these different marinades and I would make like different flavors of jerky and I'd do
Hmm.
some beef, I'd do some turkey, and like, everyone would always go nuts for that. Then Christmas Eve, I make my stuffed flounder.
Yeah.
So that's like a
But
thing
that's
that
what
I
I'm
do every
saying.
year
Like,
and like people like look forward to that and that's like
I,
a big part of,
right. And it's the joy that you are having doing it is not the joy of people receiving it. I'm sure you brought jerky to work and some people were vegetarians.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it once you give the gift, it you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
No, that's really cool, and I think that's really that disconnect, like, that literally putting it down,
Hmm.
that works on so many levels, right? Because that's really how our whole life works, like,
Yeah.
you did your part, you did the work,
Hmm.
now you walk away because really what anyone else thinks about what you just did or said or how you
Yeah.
acted, that's none of your business anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what anyone else thinks about, like, what happens, really, that has that's not about you.
Yeah. And
That's now about them, so
if you have a really good relationship with somebody, your kids, your husband, your best friend, whatever, you can have those conversations if something didn't land, right?
oh, absolutely. Yeah,
You can have
absolutely.
those conversations because that's your family, that's your friend. If you can't have those conversations, you probably shouldn't be exchanging gifts with that person anyway.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, that's the kind of person that they get a fruitcake.
Or a Starbucks card.
Yeah, exactly. Like, "Oh, here's this generic bottle of wine.
Yeah. But that's,
You it's Zinfandel,
and,
right?"
But the whole thing is none of it's bad, right?
No.
But we as a society have to be a little bit more aware of all the stresses that we put on ourselves. And the holidays are supposed to be this joyous time. Some people struggle during the holidays because of loss and divorce and bad things and stuff like that. And now we're going to lay another layer on top of the
Yeah.
expectations and the pressure and the people can't afford and things like
Mhm.
that. And why? Why? Like, we
No.
really need to hone in and just have it be a joyous time. Shoot, if I could go to somebody's house and I don't have to cook and they want to cook and that's their thing, Yahoo, love and life. Even that is a gift, right? Having somebody else invite you to their home, having somebody cook you a meal, you know, these are all gifts. Holding space. Holding space
Yeah.
is a gift. You know, for my birthday, Tara said to me, my friend Tara said to me, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" And I was like, "I really just want to be a student in a yoga class." And she was like, "Yes, let's do that." Right? What a great gift,
Yeah.
right? She came and spent the time with me to be a student in a yoga class. Like, that is beautiful. No money spent on her end. She just came and held space and spent time with me. Honestly, like, you, to me, that's like the best gift there is.
All right. So it's funny because you just went through this whole thing, and I'm like, all right, so what's our big takeaway here? And I feel like that really kind of summed it up like very nicely. But I'll ask the question, what do you want us to walk away from this episode knowing, feeling, thinking about?
So, the big takeaway is that the joy lies in the act itself. It Gift giving is more than just exchanging something. Gift giving is about holding space and connection and the joy of that person, like celebrating that person that you're giving the gift to. Gift giving is an experience. So when you look at giving a gift, no matter big, small, think outside the box, right? Think about literally, I didn't think of that.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. But honestly, like, think of that person and maybe holding space is the gift that you give. Maybe a home cooked meal is the gift that you give. Maybe, like, there are so many things that we can give of ourselves to another person. Just know if you are giving out of love and joy, once you give the gift, it is no longer yours. You have given the gift. Your
All
your
right. Yeah,
your job is
that's
done.
pretty huge. I think a lot of people are going to be, if you think about it, like you can wrap your head around that for like a little while. Like it kind of, it'll squirrel around in there for a bit, but
Yes.
I really love that perspective. I
Yeah.
really do. Like it's definitely something that I really hadn't thought about in quite that way. So, I've got a nice takeaway from this because it really just kind of, no, it helped me flip some things because literally like not I love this time of year. I love a lot of the things that happen,
Hmm.
but the expectations with the gift giving is
Yeah.
like it's very stressful for me. It is
Hmm.
just not my favorite part of things. I like the fact that, you know what, like I did my work and whatever happens after that, like my part's over. And I think that's kind of like a huge relief for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone out there else feels like that, but I'm like, oh, you know what? I like this. This is the story I'm going to keep telling myself because that makes me feel better.
And this is the other great part. If you can think of it in that aspect, you think of gifts much differently.
Yeah,
You
that is
don't
very true.
think of gifts now as these tangible things that you have to purchase all the time. Gifts now are something different.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. All right, so we're going to stop talking now because we've gone very long, and I think this was actually just so insightful. And I don't know, I feel so much better after having this conversation. So I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us and
Yeah.
listening to our thoughts on gift giving and holding space and just building relationships with people, really, because we touched
Yes.
on that a lot.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging out with us. We'll have one more episode actually before the holidays, I think. So
Yeah.
We'll see you again soon.
There. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom. Don't forget to subscribe or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And follow us on social media for more updates. See you next time.